What's up, Squid Boys? Today I'm talking about Orhan. Now, I don't have Orhan yet. You can see I'm almost there with 30 more points. But my opponent is doing what I would do with Orhan. You can see here he has Orhan with 10 armored cars. Orhan is an armored car. Orhan can be deployed on day one. And he boosts defense of armored cars, and he has an escort of armored cars once you get enough ranks. Now, what is he doing, my opponent, who's doing something that I would do? Well, I have my bombers here. He has no air superiority. His army outnumbers me. You can see I'm at 7%. He's at 7.87. Now, what my opponent is doing is, since he has no air power, he doesn't have the oil. This is a special oil map. I recommend it, called Mesopotamia. He has to be focusing on cavalry. You can see Albany right here. A limited amount of artillery, because that costs oil, but no airplanes. Now look at the army he has, which is Orhan and 10 armored cars. That's 85 damage. Now my airplanes are a little hurt from bombing, but a standard airplane has 80 health, so I would lose a bomber. Bombers are so expensive. Now what's happening? Well, I wanted to blow up these reinforcements to Allenby, and he sees me coming, so he's trying to shoot over here. I don't attack with airplanes unless I can see what's going on, because they are way too expensive of a unit. So I'm going to stop in time. But this is a great example of what someone should do with Orhan. Now, most people will be my second opponent here, Hejaz. And Hejaz is just sitting around like this. If I was to use Orhan, I would amass my armor cars here and move right into this bomber's patrol to knock out these planes. Because armored cars are fast, they can spring on them, and you want those bombers to be hitting your armored cars. Are you trying to unlock your favorite hero? To level up to get your favorite attribute and ability? Well, now you can, and help the channel. And it's quite easy. Go to the shop, pick your favorite hero, check out, and support the Squid Supremacy 1914 YouTube channel by putting in code SQUID. I have Orhan now. And I want to discuss two ways of using him as I take out this player. Now, the first one you can see right here, you can see troops, they're force marching, and yes, it's a horrible, horrible way of fighting, but this guy has been trying to get revenge on me and trying to find ways to break through my line as my Army Group A and Army Group B move through his line and start taking his units out. He's been trying to sneak through to try to get to my capital or just ruin my economy before I take him out. The first way is this. Now, this is not Orhan, but I already did it with Orhan, and we'll look at the kill count in a second. Now, you can see these group is coming, and with Orhan, his stats are amazing. Now, with Orhan, you have 90 hit points, 20 defense, and 10 attack. Now, this 20 defense is what you want to do with Orhan, and that's what I did up here. They were coming out to hit my line, and I just mopped them up playing defense here in Angora. And you can see it here. Confirmed kills, 10, just with Orhan by himself, playing defense. Now, he attacked in waves, and he's been force marching like he's doing right here. So it was an easy thing to do, but because of Orhan's speed, I was able to drive to positions here, just like this armored car, and block armies from getting across my line. Now, talking about speed, Orhan's speed is 72, which is really great. His speed and even his attack damage helps Orhan punch through enemy lines. So Orhan doesn't just defend my line, he also punches through. Now, I like to sack a capital before day change, which I plan on doing here at Colorado Springs with Hank. But as you can see, I'm going to arrive in about 4 hours and 18 minutes. And Orhan won't reach Denver here until 5 hours and 50 minutes. He's not going to make it in time. What can I do about that? Well, I can force march. I'm wrapping up this fight. I'm trying to take ground, and I could utilize Orhan's speed to gather more territory in a timely manner. Now, I plan on using Orhan in the later game in this manner alone. Now, you punch through the enemy line, and you have an opening, and you just keep going. And the problem with other armored cars, which you could see in my armored car masterclass, is that their attack damage is 6, where a basic infantry's defense is 5. Now, that can get really ugly if you get in a situation like this, moving solo and attacking, and a random infantry pops up. And when that infantry pops up, what's going to happen is your 5 damage of the armored car against their 20 HP is going to take so many rounds to kill that you're going to get stuck here in Denver and you can't keep going. But with Orhan, it's different. Because Orhan starts with 10 attack, he can easily kill a single infantry while still riding solo, which makes him the perfect breakthrough unit. Here's another example to use Orhan. I've started to attack this AI country, Arizona, and I declared war and they started maneuvering. Now I have Army Group A going this direction and Army Group B going to this direction, but this is all open over here. The AI is taking advantage and trying to take this city. Now this happens all the time. You could look at it. Here you could see Oregon. Oregon took out this AI here, but the AI had this location and just recently retook this spot. Furthermore, Nebraska here attacked this AI. This AI retaliated. Now the retaliatory force isn't usually that bad. You can see here it's only 3. So what I've done is I split up Orhan because of his speed and his high defense and his good health. He could solo these AI infantry just to guard my line. Here's another example with Orhan. You can see that I'm force marching and it'll take 56 minutes to get to this location, Imperial with a double food. Unforced march, an hour 25. Now, why is that important? Well, day change is an hour and 2 minutes, and this province, which is very vital to me, has still a 5% chance of an uprising. Now, I don't care about Gothenburg. No one cares about Gothenburg, but I care about Imperial, and the reason is the double food, right? My food is negative. That's bad. I need more food, and it's the heart of getting into my empire. I lose this province, my army up here is going to lose access to get home. And who knows who will take this province. And the worst thing that could happen is my future opponent, Missouri, who's quite large, may get that province when it revolts. Now here's an example of how I wouldn't use Orhan. And this is probably everyone's favorite example to use Orhan. Now what's going on? Well, I'm fighting Russia, and you can see my ally in blue is trying to hold him off. Now Russia's up in the north and started attacking him. My ally didn't have a good defensive line, so he broke through. But look how expensive this is for an attack. He has 10 armored cars and Orhan, and he's attacking with 57.9 damage. Now, for example, my ally has Marco and 1 cavalry, and his attack is 82 damage. Now, yeah, my ally should actually just group his armies better, but he still, even this, has more attack damage than all these armored cars. And this is just 1 cavalry and 1 hero. Now, he didn't attack me because I knew how to stop him. For example, I had these 49 infantry. When his armored cars were coming back around, they stopped here because I had him at Venice. These 49 infantry are quite hurt, but you could see that their defense damage is 110. That's almost double these armored cars' attack. And the issue is not because he's like taking ground and he's doing well. That's why people like him. For people who can't guard their borders, like my ally. But the cost to do this is so expensive, it ruins your economy. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, I can see one of his double resource provinces here. And you can notice he doesn't have a railroad or a harbor, and he's on the coast. And it's a double resource province. And we're at day 11. So for 11 days, he didn't do anything to improve this province. And he couldn't because he built so many armored cars. Now, what am I talking about? Well, we go to recruitment and we look at the armored cars. He built 10 armored cars. Armored cars cost 2,000 steel. That's 20,000 materials that he could have used to be building harbors and railroads in his early game. And yeah, it's controversial, but you should watch my armored car masterclass to get more in depth on that. Now here's a great example of how to use Orhan. Now pretend I had more than just 2 heroes. I'm about to get Allenby, but I have my army group A here. A moved up north and his main army came up to stop me at Riga. I might be able to take it, but I don't want to lose the casualties to a level 3 fort. So it's actually a diversion. Now what I've done is had army group B with Orhan move out here and take his lands. Now you can see the smokestacks, and you can see I've just taken Vilna. And at Vilna, his army didn't make it in time before Orhan did. Now I force marched Orhan, and I'm going to continue to ride out. Now, if you have a 3rd hero, you put them in army group B right here, right? If I have Allenby, he would have been right here with this army. And Orhan, in the mid to late game, this is what he does. You break through the lines, you do a diversion tactic, you lead them out, and you keep going. And the trick is Orhan is cost effective at what he does because he actually has a decent attack of 10 to knock out a newly recruited infantry in a province. So this is what he's for. It's for breaking out. And this is why Orhan is always going to be useful. Now, when Orhan reaches this stage after the early game, this is how you're going to use him. And you're just going to use him to wreak havoc and attack the hinterlands because his speed is so high and his attack damage is great against a single infantry. Furthermore, when you level him up, you're going to save money on armored cars. You won't need to build so many armored cars in the early game. Once I get to level 3 with Orhan, 3 stars, and I get 1 armored car with him, I think it would be very rare if I ever build an armored car again. Now, I know most people like to use armored cars. You can see my ally has 4 armored cars here. He has 3 armored cars here. You know, you do you. I much rather prefer building railroads and building large groups of cavalry and infantry to outnumber my opponent. This has been my Orhan review, and I'll talk to you Squid Boys later.